Right. Morning. How are we all doing? We good? Good. Woo! Yeah. That's what we need, a whoop. I apologise that I'm in English because I don't speak Swedish. So it'd be awkward otherwise. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about hitting the mark. I'll explain a little bit more about what that is in a second. But it's kind of rude of me not to introduce myself. I'm Gavin, and I'm a digital strategist at a company called dotmailer. And again, I'll explain who dotmailer is in a bit. But I've been working in the industry in email specifically for about 15 years, 16 years, and I kind of help our clients, kind of get the best out of email, best out of digital. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. You can tweet away today if you want. My handle's up here at GaviGav. Don't laugh at my name, that's my handle. Take pictures, nice tweets. If you're going to take pictures, get my shoes in as well. Yeah, I like footwear, but there we go. So let's kick off. But before I do anything else, I always like to. Oh, wrong clicker. I always take a selfie. So I'm going to take a selfie now. So everyone get in, basically. Let's see if this works. I want to take it from a few angles, but let's see if this works. So there's one here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Let's go over here. Let's go. Do you want to get in, guys? Let's get in. Come on. Let's get in. There we go. Yeah, that's enough, right? Okay. That's enough of that. Okay, I'll put that up later. So let's get into this. dotmailer. Who are dotmailer? So dotmailer are the largest email automation company in the UK. We've got offices all over the world, and essentially, as we say up here, we're empowering marketers with email marketing, email automation. How do we do that? Well, we've got a number of tools that kind of help people use their data to create better messaging. Okay, and those tools, they're grouped up into different sort of pockets: connection, intelligence, action. That's effectively what we do. We help people get the best out of the email marketing. Okay, who do we work with? Well, there's a couple of companies that you might know. So there's a few here. A lot of B2C up here. But I should get a sort of a introduction to you guys as well. Who's B2B in the room? Okay, and then the rest of you B2C, show of hands. There's some people not putting up hands. Are you confused? Not sure? We can speak later. We can figure it out. Yeah, these are the guys that we work with, and some partners as well that you might know. So we're all the time helping our clients to get the best out of what they do. And it's not just specifically in email. We like to see the whole picture and then tell you where email can kind of help out. And part of that is kind of why I'm here today, is to talk about hitting the mark. So hitting the mark has been something we've done for 9, 10 years now, as long as I've been at dotmailer. And essentially what it's about is kind of helping people understand what makes a good email. Okay? Now, that's a difficult thing to do because it's kind of subjective. You might say, you like this email because it has this in it. We saw cats earlier from Kate. There was an email with cats in it. And I might say, no, I don't kind of like that. That's kind of subjective, right? So we've kind of broken it down to a bit of a science. And over the years, we've progressed and added more and more to this study. So this year, we've had 100 brands in here, and there's 100 brands across the world. And I should point out, they're all e-commerce brands. None of these guys are our clients as well, so it's totally unbiased. And we're looking at all of these brands, big and small, again, to try and see if they're sending out good email. Now, what makes a good email? Well, we kind of break it down to a science. Don't worry, you don't have to read this. I haven't put it there. So you have to put your glasses on and struggle. This is the process we go through over sort of 24 weeks of going to people's websites, signing up for their email, getting a full account so they can trace us around the website. We put things into a basket. We leave. We come back. We buy something. From all of those companies I showed you before, we bought something from their site. And essentially, we're trying to figure out, whether or not they're doing things at different stages, and we score them at each of those stages. So all the way through, we will have a winner or a loser. We can tell you some really good stats from this study. So this is what I'm going to go through now. So a bit more information about what it is we found. What is it you guys are doing badly, and what is it you're doing really well? So let's kind of get into that. So I like to call this my Twitter slide. It means that you can take a picture of this. And, if your boss isn't here, you can show this to your boss tomorrow to show that you've actually learned something today. Take pictures. Am I in the way? I don't know. Yeah? You can go through. As you're taking pictures, I'll run through this. So 66% of brands are not practicing any segmentation. 34% of brands scored for being preference-driven. 50% of brands don't send abandoned cart emails. 53% of brands send an after-sales review email. 63% of brands scored 100% for UX. And then finally, 43% of brands mixed editorial with promo content. Okay, now there's a lot for me to go through in that. So unfortunately, I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to go through these four things. Okay, has everyone got their picture? Yeah, I can't see you, so you have to say yes. Yeah, okay, cool. Right, so let's kick this off. So 66% of brands are not segmenting. To me, this is ludicrous. This is insane, okay? Some of the basics of email, and I guess marketing as well. Segmentation and personalization, those types of things are basics, yeah? There's a lot of power within the tools that we use to help us do this thing really easily. Now, I said I wasn't going to mention it, but I might as well. Has everybody heard of GDPR? I take it from the laughter that maybe it's a yes. Maybe the reason why we're not segmenting is because we're worried about getting hold of the right data. You shouldn't be. Okay, the first thing I tell my clients is that you need to be open, honest, and transparent. Okay? If you're open, honest, and transparent, you don't have to worry about things like that. You're telling people we need to collect this data. Why are we collecting this data? How are we going to use it? If you're not going to use the data, don't ask for it in the first place. Okay? So we need to get hold of the data in order to segment and personalize in bits and pieces. So where can we start off? Where do we get that? Well, at the beginning, the welcome. So the welcome program or email is one of the most important emails you can send out. Someone has given you explicit access to their inbox. So you say thank you for that, and you send this email out. Now, this is one from Zanui. They were in our study, and it's by no means the best email I've ever seen for a welcome, but I like it because it's got 5 reasons why you should stay signed up to our email. Okay? First off, it's a $10 voucher. Then they're saying you'll be first in line for new arrivals. Then you've got be in line for over 500 plus different brands. And this one here I like as well, styling advice. I think that's great. Styling advice is great because people are looking to you to give them advice as to what to buy. Sometimes they don't know. Show of hands, who's seen the movie Fight Club? Yeah? There's a scene in that when he's going around his apartment where the whole apartment is basically out of the IKEA catalogue. Yeah? That's what you're looking for. If someone comes to you and they're buying everything from you because they believe you, they believe in the styling advice you're giving them, then that's great. So I do like that option there for styling advice. And then lastly, you've got free delivery as well. So all great things. 5 good reasons why they should stay on your list. But they're lacking something. They've told you everything about them, but where are they finding out more about you guys? Yeah, about the subscriber, about the purchaser, which is where bulk powders have done very well. So these guys are asking questions so they can use it in their emails to send out more. But this is by far the longest form I have seen in my life. Yeah. Now, not everyone's going to fill this out. There's an option to win £250 or dollars worth of vouchers with bulk powders. So that could be a reason why you fill it out. Me personally, what I would say is use something called progressive profiling. So you ask the most important questions up front, and then later on you can get more and more details afterwards. Okay? But what they've done here is they've asked the questions and they're using the data they've collected. So this is an email they've sent out, regular newsletter. It's going out to everyone. But what they've done is they've used dynamic content to change the content according to who's receiving it. So this section in the middle, I've blown it up. It's a bit blurry, but we told them in that survey that we were a vegetarian. So straight away, we've got vegetarian recipes and all this stuff about World Vegetarian Day within the email. They're using the information they have about us to make the email more relevant. That's what we need. We need relevancy. If the email's not relevant to who you're sending it out to, what's the point in sending it? Okay? So we need more relevance. That's what we're looking for here. Personalization, using the data that you have about people. Data can be very sexy. You can make your emails look sexy. So this here from Body Shop, they're just collecting how many points you've accrued over your spending with them. Just drop that into the email. That makes it more relevant to you. Personalization, again, just simple, dropping in someone's first name. I work in the industry, but I'm a bit of a sucker. If my name is in the subject line, I'm thinking, oh, they know more about me. They probably don't. But if they've got that information, they're using it. It makes me think that way. So personalization can really work nicely, and that here is actually a personalized image. I mean, to the recipient, they probably don't even care about that, but that it's quite cool. They're using something called liquid scripting to make that work. So I do like that. Right, next up, 37% of brands mix editorial with promo content. Now, I like this. Whether you're B2B or B2C, you can use these options. It's not all about selling all the time, sort of ramming the sale down people's throats. Sometimes you have to give them some information, make it look like you're some sort of authority in your vertical. Maybe it's a blog, maybe it's some sort of infomercial or something like that within the email. Just showing them that you know what it is you're talking about, and you're not always selling. Okay. So, as an example here from Williams-Sonoma. Now, this email I like because, again, it's not all about the sale. They're telling you about other bits and pieces they have. Maybe what they're doing is they're following you around the website and seeing the things that you're looking at and populating the email with those stories. But all the way through, there's nothing about selling. Some bits and pieces about recipes, how to sharpen your knives, bits and pieces like that. That's not ultimately selling. But I bet you if you click on that link to sharpen your knife, you're taken to a page where you've got a whole load of knives that you can magically buy. Yeah, but this is the sort of thing we're looking for. Not always forcing the sale and giving a story, something that people will come back to and go, actually, I like those guys. I can read up about this, that, and the other, and oh, they've got that stuff that I want to buy as well. Okay, so all the way through, again, not pushing it, using social links, etc. as well to keep people connected. So I like that option. Okay, next up, 56% of brands are failing to send an abandoned cart email. Now, I mean, we can name and shame here. I won't get you to show your hands who's not sending an abandoned cart email, but we all should be. Whether it's abandoned cart or abandoned browse because someone's been looking around your site and then left, I think that's something we should be looking at doing. Because they work. There's two things about these emails, is they're timely and they're relevant. They're timely because we know when someone left the site or left something behind in the site, so we know when to send the email. And they're relevant because we know what they were looking at. We can put that directly into the email. Timely and relevant. We're told by the Barnard Institute that 69% of carts worldwide are abandoned. And email is a great way of recouping that. In the UK, so I don't have the figure for in Sweden, but in the UK, for every £1 you spend, you're getting £32 back. That's a huge return on email. And used correctly, email can really work. And that's why I say abandoned cart emails are the way forward. Because I've seen clients set up abandoned cart campaigns and pay for the whole setup of that within the first email. It's a really powerful tool. So again, some examples here. One from TJ Maxx. It's clean. It's basically what you left behind and some alternatives as well. If you've got a product recommendation tool, that's really great. You can help power the emails, what's left in there. Now, that's nice. We've got an example here from Home Depot as well, which is a little bit more cluttered. Okay, you don't really know exactly what it is you should be doing. There's too many links going on. But what I do like is they've got the product that you left behind, but they've also got the recommendations of similar products. And you were looking at kettles, so you've got kettles. And more than that as well, you've got reviews on those kettles too. So if you don't quite know whether or not this is the right one for you, click on there and you've got different reviews too. Give people the option. What would you do if they came into one of your stores? You probably talk to them about what they wanted. Do they need different bits and pieces? And that's exactly what we can do here. If you've got an e-commerce site and B2C, even B2B as well, you should think about maybe a wish list too. So someone's going to be putting something into the basket. It's not always that they're looking for a discount or life's happened and they have to go elsewhere. Maybe they're just putting things there so they can come back to later. So a wish list can help. So that's an option as well. Next up, only 53% of brands sent an after-sales review email. Now again, to me, that's ludicrous. If someone comes to your site and they sign up, we send out a welcome email. We say thank you for giving us access to your inbox. But someone comes along to your site, they buy something, and what do? We just take the money and walk away. Yeah? No, you have to say thank you for that. And it's not just thank you, it's more about learning about what's happened. If we're doing, we're giving them a good service, then great, we keep doing it. If we're not, understand what we've done wrong, learn and improve. It's kind of like, I sort of refer this to something I call the newness. Okay, so imagine you've just started a new relationship with someone and you're all excited about it because, every time they call you, you pick up straight away. You get on the phone, or they text you and you text back straight away because you're really excited. You always go on date night. Date night is very important when you first start seeing someone. Let's fast forward a few months. The gloss is coming off a little bit. They call you like, oh, I'll speak to you later. They text you like, oh, I can't text you. And you forget to go on date night. If you forget to go on date night, they can go elsewhere and go on a date elsewhere. And this is what will happen with you guys. If you don't give back to your customers, learn about what you're doing well, as I said, and keep doing it. If there's something you're not doing well, change it. But you've got to find out, get feedback. Make every interaction you have with them, every sale you have with them, a date night, okay? So learn about everything you're doing right and wrong. AO, they send out the order confirmation. This is nothing new. You should be sending this out everywhere anyway. But they also send out emails about the app so you can see when your product's coming along. That's important. All of that sort of stuff, following up afterwards is important. But what they have, which is really great, is this. Have we done a good job? Tell us if we've done a good job. If it's a good job, as I said, they'll keep doing it. Maybe they'll even ask you to leave a review. If they've done a bad job, well, best believe they're going to have like a customer representative calling you to find out what went wrong so they can fix that. That's what you need. That's the sort of care we need to have after the sale. So a good example here from AO. So take note of that. Now, quickly, here's the top 10 of this year. So maybe some companies you've seen before, maybe some you haven't. For some of you that might know about the UK market, Maplin, actually, they've got into administration. But they were there because they did a really good job online. Everything they do online was great. And they even said that actually their online arm attributed for something like 13.2% of their income. And it could have been more had they pushed more people to online and not had so many stores because no one was going to their stores. So a good example there. So some of those guys, have a look at their emails because they're pretty good. We had an overall winner. And the overall winner was bulk powders. So when I said before, maybe that form was too long, actually, they were using it really well. They used all of the data they had to help power their campaigns. There was a huge amount of relevancy within the campaigns. So the cross-section of one of their emails, we can kind of look at their email as well. So they had this countdown here, maybe using something like movable ink to say, look, we're having a birthday, you're invited, there's X amount of time before you can come in and use all the deals that we're sending you. So that was great here. I used to talk about having a good balance between image and text in your email. Maybe not a huge thing anymore because emails open up straight away on something like an iPhone. But if your images don't load straight away, you need to be able to show people exactly what's going on within the email. So having that good balance, alt text and all of that stuff within there, helps to keep the email strong. Other bits and pieces like free delivery, showing you, kind of what we're giving back. As I said as well, different stories. It's not just about the sale within this email. We're giving you bits and pieces connected to our blog. You can read about having a healthier life, etc., etc. And one bit which you can't read, which is at the bottom, and probably one of the most important bits, is about unsubscribing. And I'm just going to read out the text they have here. And with GDPR in mind as well, I quite like this. It says, if you believe you did not opt in, then please accept our apologies. We respect your online time and pledge not to abuse this medium. It's just a nice bit of text which is effectively saying, sorry if we pissed you off. But that's what you need. Now, I always see this as well. The unsubscribe link is pushed to the bottom of the page. In some cases, I say, why not lift it to the top? Have it at the top. Don't put like big neon lights around it, but make it one of the first things that people see. Unsubscribe or change your preferences. Because if this email's not right for them, let them go. I always liken hiding the unsubscribe link at the foot of the page to knowing you're going to be dumped by someone and avoiding all calls and texts from that person. It's going to happen. Yeah, so just let it happen. As I said, move it up to the top of the page and give them the option to change their preferences if that's what they want to do. Okie dokie. So let's kind of wrap this up. We've done this, as I said, for about 9 or 10 years. Each time we do it, I see the same thing all the time. These companies aren't, ironically, hitting the mark because they're not taking care of the basics, the fundamentals. They're not making sure they understand enough about you so that they can make their emails more relevant. There's a lot of quick wins to be had out there with abandoned cart emails, and not always, as I said, forcing the sale down people's throats. If they want to buy something, they'll buy something. But if they trust you as a supplier, as a merchant, then it might be easier for you as well. So having that editorial in there as well will really help. So yeah, have a big idea, because at dotmailer we have a bit of a mantra. And that mantra is to think big. What is it you're actually trying to achieve? Ask why. Why you're doing this. So think big. But start small. You've got to start somewhere. So if it's something like a welcome program, maybe it's just the quick email out to them to let them know that you're saying thank you. So start small, but scale quickly. You had that big picture. Start somewhere and find a way to ramp up to your big idea. But that's me. Thank you very much. If you want to download Hitting the Mark, you can do. Here's the link here. But yeah.
Thank you, Gavin. So I would give you 1 minute to say what you were supposed to say now.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, if you want to download Hitting the Mark, you can do. There's a link to it there. It's not supposed to be read cover to cover because it is a big document. Kind of flick through it and look at the different categories. But yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
So do we have any questions from the audience or from the panel?
Yeah, we have a question from the audience. Firstly, but thank you, Gavin. Love the shoes.
They're nice.
So if there's a risk of people unsubscribing if it gets too repetitive, how do you avoid the risk of too many emails?
I've always thought about this, what's too many emails? You'll never really know how many is too many until you kind of ask your database. But it's a tough one Because if you ask your database how many emails you should be sending them, you're going to have to make sure you're sending them that many emails a week. And that's very difficult to do. I have sort of a little story, a little ditty about that. So imagine, it's your friend's birthday, and you owe them some money, and there's an event you want to ask them to as well that evening. Now, that's 3 things you want to say to them. In a normal world, you would go up to them and say, happy birthday, here's the money, and you need to come to this event tonight. Now, in an email, people tend to think, oh, there's 3 separate emails. I can't send 3 separate emails. But actually, to that person, each of those 3 things is really important. So I think it's more down to relevancy, as I said before. If the email's not relevant, don't send it. Yeah.
That's pretty clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavin.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.